I love being in the Guggenheim Museum, in MoMA Museum. I like art and traveling and exploring and knowing about the artists. And even here, last time in Ledra in Nicosia, I went to a beautiful Thais museum, and also you have lots of art everywhere. So I love that. I love history. I love art. I like culture.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. My guest today was born in Lebanon, and she was born in Lebanon during the war, which probably does have a significant impact on one's life. But she has lived in so many different places. I want to find out about all the places that she's lived in, and she has studied all sorts of different things. Another thing that we're going to go through, I see journalism, I see political science, I see a lot. She's a very educated lady, and she is a lovely friend of mine. Welcome to Most Memorable Journeys, Ranya AA Elkhalil.
Hello, good morning, Elizabeth. How are you?
I am very well, and I am looking forward to talking to you. You live in Cyprus. We have met in Cyprus, but you have had a long journey before you ended up here, haven't you?
Yes. Actually, I'm so happy to be in Cyprus. I'm talking to you from Nicosia, which I feel a sense of belonging after it's now my third year. And it's a beautiful city. I like, we're talking in the morning. I like drinking my coffee, sipping my coffee in the morning and listening to birds here and navigating in the streets of Pledra. So I invite everyone who doesn't know Nicosia to come here and join us. And how about you? How is Limassol? I was there on Sunday, and it was a beautiful day for me going there. And I was exploring with some friends the city, the old town, and the beautiful marina. It was beautiful.
Limassol, I have always lived in Limassol all these years that I have been in Cyprus, and I am so used to Limassol. It's like really my home. And I go for a walk in the morning in Dasudi. I don't know if you know, Dasudi is a little forest, which is very sacred to me. It's like my other home, and I know everybody there. And I see all these young and old people exercising, of course, on the weekends. The young people are there during the week. The pensioners are there, and everybody's having a good time, and everybody is having a swim. Limassol is nice. I mean, it's a good place to live. But let's talk about you. I want to know from you. You were born in Beirut during the war. And I know that many people left Lebanon during that time, because I was here. I came to Cyprus the first time in 1982. And that's when I realized, I didn't know much about the world at the time, but that's when I realized that what was going on in this area. Why did your parents stay?
Actually, we stayed because my father is a judge, and he's a civil servant, definitely. And so we stayed there like all Lebanese, and we were survivalists during the war, of course. And I like to call myself adapting throughout all. And because I love the sea, I can say we sailed through the storms and through the years. And I loved my journey and my upbringing in Beirut, and I don't regret it. Now the war is awful. Nobody like war, and I remember living under the bombs. And but what I like to talk about is the good side, because you're a Swiss lady, and Lebanon was the Switzerland of the Middle East.
I
And this is what
know.
and this is what I like to talk about. We dream of a good Lebanon. And I come from a village called Barouk, which is the land of good, and it promotes goodness and peace and dialogue. And this is why I had a lovely childhood, and we adapted throughout the years, and we partied. We used to play cards under the bombs, and we used to go out. So we have you're taking me down memory lane now, but I had a wonderful childhood, and lots of friends, and I still have them. and I love going back there. Now I left my country after 2 decades because I got married, and there my journey started to be abroad. I relocated, residing in different countries. So I feel that my life and journey was rich, adapting to new places every time, and this taught me a lot. And for me, I grew up in Lebanon, in the nice area of Beirut. I was French educated, and then I went to the beautiful American University of Beirut that has a beautiful campus down there, and it taught me a lot. And then I continued my study in ESA, École Supérieure des Affaires, where the French president came and opened it, President Chirac, and it was a new campus, and also it taught me a lot and opened doors and opportunity for me as a career lady in the business world.
Wow, because I have been to Lebanon many times. I have a lot of Lebanese friends, and I absolutely adore Lebanon. And I know, for example, my parents-in-law, before the war, they used to go and spend the weekend in Lebanon. And as you say, it was the Switzerland of the Middle East, and it was a very rich, beautiful country. And when I came to Cyprus in 1982 for the first time, and all those Lebanese people had moved here, is when I actually learned. I was a little peasant girl from Switzerland, and I learned glamour. I used to sometimes get invited to a tea party by a Lebanese lady, and I used to think, wow, how do they do all this? Like, the tables were full of food and stuff, and everything was just so amazing. That's one thing that I wanted to say. And the other thing is, the American University of Beirut is one of the best universities in the world that nobody talks about.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. It has a very good ranking, I think, and it opened now recently in Paphos, and I'm very happy that also it's expanded, and we have a lot of diverse students from all backgrounds coming to it.
Tell me, Ranya, did you go, your first country that you moved to when you left Lebanon, was that the UK?
Actually, my husband is very European, so he grew up in London, in the UK, and he's a British Lebanese and businessman. And so we moved to the UK, and then he was working at the time in Germany. And there where I relocated and learned the new language there, and tried to adapt to a new life and trying to also continue because we moved to Köln, and it was a communication city, and there I had to learn the language. I took intensive course in German from the morning till 4 o'clock next to the beautiful cathedral of Cologne. And I had a blast there. Whenever I go to a country, I lived it through and through. And this is why I can tell you a lot about how to adapt and how to relocate and how to integrate. I felt like local there, and I loved my time during Germany, singing the song of Viva Colonia for Cologne city. It was so beautiful, and they have a carnival that starts from October till February, as I recall. So it was so beautiful. And next to it, it was Düsseldorf. And so if you want to go and dress up, like you say, and have a nice tea, you go to Düsseldorf. And I had a very nice time exploring Germany, going to Nuremberg for business events. And in Köln, you have a lot of business there as well. So I loved my stay in Germany. And then I moved we went to the UK. My husband's home is the UK, and I gave birth to my two children in the window wing in Westminster. and we go often. And I love London. If you get bored of life, you get bored of London, I guess.
So listen, before we continue, there is something very significant that I have just understood from what you said. You say if you go to another country, you have to learn the language and you have to adapt to the local customs. You have to start liking what other people do. And otherwise, and that helps a lot to have a good life, because like the people that you go to don't have to adapt to you. You have to adapt to the people.
Definitely, it depends on the people, because also sometimes you've got cultures that do not accept newcomers, and you have other cultures that are more open and do accept open-minded people, and they accept diversity and different backgrounds. So it's very important to which country you are going, and it depends on the person. Some people don't like to move and to relocate, and I consider myself adventurous in that type. And I like to explore and to see new countries, to taste new food, to meet new people. And this is very important to me. And I think it builds more richness within yourself, and you explore. And I like going to galleries, to museums, explore the history of the countries. And I like traveling a lot, since I travel a lot to New York, to China. I went to China. When I lived in Europe, we used to go from Cologne to Amsterdam every weekend. And I like Austria. I used to ski in the Alps, in the French Alps, in Mont Blanc. I love this cultural aspect. And as a businesswoman, we talk a lot of IQ and EQ. And I've developed throughout the years adaptability and flexibility, but not only IQ and emotional intelligence, which helps a lot in management and in your personal life. I've developed also cultural Q, which is also a concept, a very important concept that you learn throughout your time visiting new people, adapting, being more flexible, and enjoying this diversity and this knowing and learning on the go. So for me, the learning curve is never ending, and I like to invest in myself, either through learning a new language, or as a woman now today, I'm cooking, I'm talking to you on a postcard. I have to relate to my family. I'm trying to write a book, and I'm planting trying to water my new plant. So we multitask on a daily basis, and the cultural cue is something that I have learned, especially that I have traveled throughout different countries, and every time I relocated. So I moved from Germany and then to Dubai. My husband I had as a housewife and a mother to move to a new country, and you have to adapt your children to new school, and also it's not you have the responsibility of educating them and integrating them as well. So I went to Dubai, and in Dubai, because I'm a career woman.
Wait, we're not there yet. We haven't gone to Dubai. We're still in Germany.
Yes, we're still in Germany.
But what I want, the one thing, because you mentioned cultural EQ, we talk, it's very modern in today's world. We talk about IQ, EQ, that emotional intelligence is more important even sometimes than IQ. But yes. Do you believe, I believe, my personal opinion is that very often people do not accept another culture because they don't know enough about it, because it's fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's not because they don't want. It's just because people look different. They may have a different color. They may obviously speak a different language. They may be covered. I don't know. And I think it's lack of information. And, you were just mentioning cooking before and food. I think that there are so many ways that we could bring people together, by organizing sharing meals, for example, with cultures that don't know each other. Do you agree with me that a lot of it is lack of information and fear?
Some do, yes. It depends on the upbringing of the person, on his mentality, his mindset, and the way he perceives the world and what he have as experiences. So definitely, you are right. If somebody is always or have a very bad interaction with another person, this might lead to fear and being isolated and in a closed environment to protect themselves. And I don't blame them sometimes. It depends on the experience, but it depends on the person, because I know a lot of people who relocate and who move to different countries, and they don't like to be part of that country. And this is very wrong.
Exactly.
I can tell you. Yes, so I believe that you have to go throughout all, and I feel that it depends on the person as well. If you like to learn new things, to explore, it's about exploration. For me, I feel like Christopher Columbus doing my journey in different countries, relocating every time and restarting. And it's like you're creating yourself, being innovative. And this part I like, being adventurous and innovative. So it depends on the person. It depends on how open you are and how much you want to embrace a new culture. But I think even sometimes those who don't like to interact, if you put them in such an environment, they will change eventually throughout time.
Absolutely. But I also believe that the media doesn't help by, just picking out that one person from that country that did something wrong, and then people generalize, you see. So everybody, if you hear that one person has done something, everybody from this country is now bad. That's the
that's a cliche which I hate, because
yes.
A good person from your country can lift you up, and a bad person can stimulate rumors about. And this is absolutely not good. You have to know each person's background and experiences and who they truly are by talking to them and having a nice conversation with them, maybe, or looking into their profile in so many ways.
Now let's go to Dubai. So how old were the kids when you went to Dubai?
My son was 3 years old, and my daughter 2, and he was going. My daughter, she was a newborn. Before coming to Dubai, I went back to Beirut, and then I remember we evacuated, and it was also in 2006, and we evacuated on an HMS York to Cyprus. And I remember the experience holding my son on 4 months old on my hand, and listening to Mary Poppins on the boat to sustain myself, because I wasn't allowed to carry anything, and no luggage, nothing. And it was quite an experience. So I have my ups and lows, and this was an adventure. And when I came to Cyprus, hectic, after 10 hours in a boat holding my son, I was really tired, and the soldier lifted me up, and I went to Limassol and to a very nice hotel, and it was like the best spa in the Middle East. I don't think it's Park Lane now. I don't know which
Meridian
or San Rafael. I don't know actually.
Yeah.
So I had a very nice spa, and I took care of myself, my well-being, and my husband met me here. So this was the first time I left my home country, not out of choice, but out of evacuation. And the second time was 3 years back, when I came to Cyprus as after the Beirut Holocaust, you can say, the big bombardment in Beirut, and I couldn't handle the situation, and it was very tough. So I decided to come here, and the school was open, so I relocated. You need to find a house. The school was already two weeks open, and it was something to furnish your house after you have moved so many countries, buy new folks, going to IKEA, buy new furniture. And so I'm not here to talk about brands, but you have to go and relocate from the spoon to the TV to everything, to handle all the stuff and carry yourself on. But I think it was the first month was a bit difficult relocating. I'm expert now in relocating. As I said, I've been relocating so many countries. The difficult part is the first 6 months. I have experience in that. And definitely after that, life becomes rosy. In Cyprus, it was quicker, maybe because I become more experiment, or maybe because it's the country itself, it helps. I don't know, one of both. I'm still discovering it out. So yeah, it was smooth, luckily, and I'm very happy here.
You know, you could actually turn the relocating experience and knowledge into a business. I had her on my podcast, my friend Amel. She now lives she is married to a diplomat who travels a lot. So she had to relocate all the time. And she actually turned this into her business.
Yes, actually, it's quite a good idea. I opened my business in Beirut as a consultant because I have academic experience and professional ones. I've worked in several organization. I was a banker, a researcher, communicator. I always create myself, and a journalist as I started my career. So I'm a businesswoman. So I do hold different hats whenever I'm in a different company, and I work wholeheartedly. I'm a hard worker, and I have this seriousness when I work, and I forget about everything else. And throughout life, I take myself so lightly, and I like to enjoy life.
Yes, but you are not only a businesswoman, but you are also multicultural, adaptable, and multilingual. I think those are attributes that are very important in today's world.
I've learned it through the way, and I like learning new things. And as I said, the learning curve is never ending for me. I'm a student of life. First of all, I became a mentor when I started to teach, and I worked as a business lecturer for many years. So, but I feel that in life you always learn something new. I can learn today something new from you, Elizabeth, and I feel that people with experience and inspirational, that we learn from them, and this is this thing I like a lot. And this is why you can see me all the time, either in conferences or in galleries. I like learning about everything because it builds yourself, your personality. It enriches you. And I like to discover. And like I move from different countries to discover. I'm adventurous by nature, and I don't mind it. I love my journey, Elizabeth, and I don't regret any seconds of it, through its downs and its ups.
Of course. But in order to learn, we have to be willing to listen. And that's a thing that many people don't have anymore. People like to talk about themselves only. But when you talk about yourself, you don't learn anything new. You just hear what you already know. Another thing that I want to mention for those people who are listening to us who are not very familiar with the area where we are, Rania and I both live on the island of Cyprus in the Eastern Mediterranean, and we are a 20 minutes flight away from Lebanon, from Beirut. And whenever the airport in Beirut closes, which does happen once in a while because of different reasons, boats come from Junior to Larnaca, which is, again, I think it's 10 hours, you said. It's a 10-hour trip. So we are very connected to Lebanon, and Lebanese people have always been very welcome in Cyprus. Now, you lived in Saudi. How long did you live in Saudi?
I lived in more than 14 years, I think, 14 years. 2 years in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia, 14 years. And so I know the desert, the Sahara. We used to go on desert trip. I lived in Jeddah, which is an open city. And I love cities by the sea. It's on the Red Sea, and you have beautiful fish there. We used to go on boat trips, on desert trips. And the experiences there was very rich for me as well, because I used to live in a compound. And when you live in a compound, it's different because you have the expat life. And there, the compound has all the facilities, the sport arena. It's very easy to raise children, and you make a lot of friends on the way. I have my neighbor; she was from China. From all parts of Europe in the same compound we used to live, from Germany, from France, and also we have a lot of Lebanese. So you have you can choose who are your friends, and we used to have you can go from a different compound, from one compound to another, and I have an exciting time there. And it's you have the pool, you have the facilities that you can use, the tennis course which is next to your house. So it's a very easy life, but at the same time, it's I like also, whenever I go, I like to be with a local. And as a Lebanese, definitely I speak Arabic, and it was very easy to me I love Saudi Arabia because I lived there, and I witnessed the change there as a business woman. I worked in an advertising company when I first went, and it was very creative. I developed the CRM department, and then I worked as an account executive. Then I was burnt out in my first job because the timing till 6, and I had children at the time, was very difficult. So I stopped, and it wasn't at the beginning very easy for a woman to find a job there, but things have changed now, and I witnessed that change, and I was part of all this change. And I used to teach in at a university where you have princesses and royal, and it was a college at the beginning, and then it developed to a university. And I was the first woman there with my doctor, my chair at the time, and I had to develop the curriculum and being part of this change. And definitely women now drives, and I'm happy to witness that change and being part of this woman empowering movement, because it was a female-led university, and we promoted leaders and developed and told them about management, economics, business communication, and many more. And I was part of the faculty member, and I have you're taking me now down memory lane, and it was a beautiful experience, exciting. We used to wear the abayas, were very close, only black when we went, but now you can open your abaya and you don't have to wear abaya at all. So this change was beautiful, and I'm happy that I witnessed that. And I was involved in Jeddah also. I was on the board of the school. I was involved at the school. I used to go a lot to the French consulate. The wife of the French consulate was a friend of mine, and I used to participate in a book club and we used to discuss the movie. We used to read the book and then discuss, see it as a movie, and it was beautiful because I kept my French language, and you speak French, Elizabeth. So,
I do.
so it helped me keep my French language and my. So I love that, and we used to. My husband was also part of the business. UK group there and the German group. So we were always mingling with different nationalities, and I like the diversity. And it was a beautiful experience. And I still remember the beautiful fish. I used to do diving there, and the beautiful color of the fish. It's so beautiful in my mind. So a lot of memories, beautiful friends. I made a lot of friends, and we used to teach each other cooking, doing karaoke nights, and it was beautiful, simply beautiful.
That's so good. I mean, I like to hear that. And so you do feel, and from what I hear, you have contributed to making Saudi Arabia a little bit more modern for women, because I have a friend who is a flight attendant who has been on my podcast twice. She recently traveled through Saudi Arabia on her own in a car, and
Yes.
she has a very good Instagram channel, and she showed everything. It has changed a lot, and it's a very, very beautiful country. And I am dreaming of going hiking in Saudi Arabia. But one question, how did you cope with the heat?
Actually, it's not that hot. One time I had to, because I have to stay a little bit more in summer because of my duties at uni and my work. So I stayed there. You can in the weekend. I used to go out to the pool, start my day at 4 o'clock. So it was fine in Jeddah. I didn't mind it at all.
But during the day, it gets very hot in the summer.
Yes, you have ACs and everything. It gets 40 degrees and you get used to it. And this is part of adapting as well, Elizabeth.
Interesting. Yes, that is, thank you for reminding me. It's true, because I still complain about the heat here in the summer, but it's part of adapting. It's true.
When you go to a cold country, you adapt to the cold, and yes.
Very true. So this is a very, very fascinating, interesting life as a businesswoman, as a mother, as a wife. My podcast is called Most Memorable Journeys. Can you think of a journey, whether it's a trip or a country that you moved to? Which one is your most memorable?
I love New York. Actually, I love London. As I told you, if you get bored in life, you get bored in London. I love London a lot, and definitely it was New York. Because a lot of I like a vibrant city and big cities and cosmopolitan. I like traveling. I don't know if I like to live there, but definitely. But I love being in the Guggenheim Museum, in MoMA Museum. I like art and traveling and exploring and knowing about artists. And even here, last time in Ledra in Nicosia, I went to a beautiful Thais museum, and also you have lots of art everywhere. So I love that. I love history. I love art. I like culture, and definitely New York was one of those cities. And sometimes it's debatable, because before I got married, I used to go always to Paris as well, because I'm French educated and I love Paris. So yes, from Paris, I like the fashion city, and also I like Italy. Italy is so beautiful, and they have a lot of taste, and I love Firenze and Lago di Como and all of these beautiful places. They are still in my head. So traveling for me is so beautiful. And definitely during COVID, we knew the importance of traveling, because we were stuck in our houses and we couldn't do anything.
It's difficult to choose, though, isn't it? Because the world is very, very beautiful when you have an open mind and when you are interested in things. Now, you are in Cyprus. You have moved to Cyprus because of mostly, as you said, because of the explosion, because life in Lebanon became quite hard and challenging. Where would you like to live? If you could choose, where would you like to spend the rest of your life?
Actually, now I love the island life. If you'd ask me, actually, when I was young, I used to. Maybe I manifested it in being on an island. When I was young, I used to write essays about Robinson Crusoe and being on a beautiful island. What can you ask for more? So I love being here now, and I find myself, my inner peace, my calm, and I'm part of different association which I'm proud of, and I'm building. I'm definitely restarting, and every time I was moving countries, I restarted from scratch, and it's been 7 times for me. And there's a saying, if you fall 7 times, you get up 8. And this is what I'm doing. And here, Cyprus, it's so beautiful with the people. It's very amicable, very hospitable. It's a beautiful island. I have a lot to explore more. I haven't gone to Paphos yet. I love being in Protaras and in Ayia Napa. The turquoise water relaxes me. It's my cure. It's my therapy. So I don't need more. And I like being in Nicosia. It has a very nice park. I have a very nice park next to me. And the people are simply very nice, very honest. And this is what I want. I feel a self of belonging, as I told you. And it's not only here, it's me. Every time I go to a country, I adapt to it. So when I was in Germany, I was also very happy in the Gulf region as well. And so I'm exploring new and different cultures, and but now I feel like settling, and I don't want to move my suitcase anymore. Because I want to just relax and focus and restart with myself as a businesswoman, as a career woman, because also my life as a woman, as a mother, as a housewife was interrupted throughout my career. Now I'm very happy about my successes, but as well an achievement, but I still have a lot of aspiration, and I feel that I'm very productive and I can give more, and I'm a hard worker. So I'm always optimistic, looking of the glass, how do you say, half full, not half empty.
Beautiful. So basically you feel that you have arrived. And I think that is a good ending to this beautiful podcast episode. Thank you so much for being on Most Memorable Journeys today, Ranya AA Elkhalil.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And it's so nice, so beautiful talking to you, and hope we meet again in any of the events that we cross each other in often. Have a wonderful day, Elizabeth.
You too. Thank you.
If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.